So over time, I have learned that the highest executives in some of our top organizations, the highest executives do not know what we are doing. They don't know what we're doing. I sat with, I'll keep all the details, but I sat in an executive meeting and the vice president of production, all production went through this person. And we're going through the card. We're going through, okay, we're going to go to the red corner, we go to the blue corner, we're going to do an establishing shot, we're going to feed it to the locker room, we're going to toss to an interview. We're going through the entire thing. And I realized 2 fights, I'm scrambling through my paperwork because what they're saying I don't have. And I'm looking around, and other people are flipping through my paper. What is going on here? I don't have this. And a couple of fights in, I realized they're speaking about last month's card. They have the wrong card. They have the wrong run of show. They have the wrong layout. And I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm not an executive. In fact, I don't work for the company at all. I'm an independent contractor. I'm sitting there all on my own. And the head running this meeting is on last month's card, and the boss is one seat to the right, hasn't caught it yet. Now, I'm gonna walk away from that story. That one gets a little bit close to home. And I'll just share with you that it has never ceased to surprise me how few people know what it is we're doing here. And if the fighter figures out what we're doing here, running business and manipulating your career, Israel Adesanya would be a great example. That's the guy that has figured out, he knows what's going on here. When his time ends, he could go right into a career on the business side of these things. I mean, I'll just share that with you. And I'm watching, and there's a few clues. But yeah, you gotta understand, right? And this is all just from an ego and arrogance standpoint. I like to be the smartest guy in the room, and I like to be noticed as the smartest guy in the room. One of the problems I have is it's a very closed-mouth business. If you're one of the extremely few people that know how this business works, right? I mean, there's no book you can go check out and read about it. There's no course, there's no professor at any college anywhere that you can go major in, right? It's one of these really unique spots. Why would I want to come out, even if it helped me to look smart and achieve what I wanted to do, why would I want to come out and smarten somebody else on a business that is so hard to learn about? Why would I want to do that? And then I still get tempted. I still get tempted because I feel as though when you got those aces up your sleeve, you can't just say that you've got the aces up your sleeve. You have to show to some degree. You have to show that you have it. So, you guys know, I told you the Stephen Morocco story. Stephen's a very good friend of mine, by the way. Speak to him on a social level quite often. But I told you the Stephen Morocco story. This is a very meaningful guy in the space. He calls me up, he asks me a question. I mean, that would have been so relevant. This is all these years ago he asked me that question. And then you fast forward and here we are now in the slap era. All those years ago, if he would have found the answer and he would stand back, oh my God, his eyes would open, his jaw would drop, but he would see everything would be so clear. Can't give those answers, but I still tell you, the Stephen Moraccos and these other guys, in what direction to go. Find out and figure out why there's a ceremonial weigh-in. Just figure that out. And they didn't even think to look into it. They just came and covered it. They didn't even think to look into why are we putting a guy on a scale twice. There's not very many sports where you weigh in a guy at all. But there's no sport where you weigh him in twice. Oh, and by the way, one doesn't actually count. Figure out why that happens. And if you do, you can unveil that. Your understanding of everything around you will change drastically. Now, these are the lessons that I can offer you. And if you don't remember the question, because I've told you it many times, go back and do your homework, because specifically what Morocco asked me and why 10 years later I tied that in to the slap era. What's the connection Chael's trying to tell us here? Why is there a ceremonial weigh-in? No other sport on God's earth does that, even the few combat sports that weigh a guy in. And now you've got a brand new one. I told you one day, 24 hours, after we tore that cage down at Madison Square Garden, The Rock got on the plane, the president got on a plane. I told you then the BMF title would never be defended, didn't I? And the BFM champion fought. BMF champion fought again, and the BFM champ fought again, but he never defended the title, did he? And now he has vacated the title. And now that title is going to be fought for. Why?